Welcome to the program. I'm Joke Rogers. Zimbabweans have continued to mount pressure on President Robert Mugabe to step down as president. This comes as the 93-year-old faces the start of the impeachment process against him. The call was made at a rally in central Harare, where a colorful crowd danced to music and waved the national flag to show support for a group calling itself the United Citizens Alliance, as members of the military watched. The ruling party plans to bring the motion in Parliament after a Monday noon deadline expired for the 93-year-old to step down to end nearly 4 decades in power.
The clock is ticking in the run-up to an impeachment vote that could finally oust Zimbabwean leader Robert Mugabe. He may be refusing to step down as leader, but shortly he may not have a choice. After ignoring a Central Committee Monday midday deadline to tender his resignation, the ruling party summoned its members of parliament ahead of an impeachment proceedings on Tuesday.
The party has instructed the chief whip to proceed with impeachment processes.
Independent member of parliament who was expelled from the party due to factional fights jointly filed the motion.
You need two-thirds majority for it to pass, and the two-thirds is there. I'm sure this is not about any political party, it's about the country, it's about the good governance of the country.
President Robert Mugabe's continued defiance in the face of overwhelming pressure to leave office could fuel more mass discontent across the country.
The longer he wants to play hard game, the more it's going to be painful to him. The people have decided. End of day, there may be this or that constitutional provision. The truth is that the people of this country have made a decision that Mugabe can no longer be their president, and he needs to respect that.
But it would be more emphatic with the support of their arch-rivals, the Movement for Democratic Change. The two parties rarely agree on anything, although getting rid of Mugabe would likely be an exception.
The general sentiment out there is that we should support the impeachment motion, not because we're taking any sides with the various factions within Zanu-PF, not at all. We've always been insisting that Mugabe must go.
Meanwhile, Zimbabweans continue to rally against President Robert Mugabe. On paper, impeachment is a long and drawn-out process, but constitutional experts say with the right support, it could be fast-tracked and Mugabe could be potentially gone in a day.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the influential Zimbabwe War Veterans Association, Christopher Mutsvangwa, has joined the call for the embattled president to quit. In a passionate address in Harare, which lasted around 20 minutes, he compared the current situation to when Zimbabwe gained independence in 1980 and the government of white Prime Minister Ian Smith was overthrown. Urging Mugabe to smell the coffee, Mutsvangwa accused him of becoming a despot and attempting to hand over the reins of power to his controversial wife, Grace. Mutsvangwa added that if Mugabe did not quit, there will be more protests and actions.
If he doesn't go, we shall be calling upon the people again of Zimbabwe to come back and show him the door. We will bring them back, the same people who came on Saturday, but this time we'll be appealing to everybody in Zimbabwe to come so that they show him that the whole people of Zimbabwe want him to go yesterday. Even from his own cabinet, Mugabe is no more mandate. He's finished. Yes. So that's why we're saying, smell the coffee. You should go. You have ruled for 37 years. We don't want you another 37 seconds. Please, go away. Go, Mugabe. Go.
The impeachment proceedings against the 93-year-old president who's been in power for almost 4 decades now, and Zimbabwean journalist Nigel Nyamuntubu. Nigel, we talked about the impeachment proceedings against Mugabe, which you established is indeed taking place today, but the whole process of getting him out of power has been moving very slowly. Do you think the calls for him to step down will become fatigued?
Well, I think it is the beginning of the end. If anything, it's actually meant now. Also, that he told President of Cabinet that only 5 ministers are sent out. They came out really realizing of the situation at the moment. What we posted that President Jacob Zuma will be leading a SADC delegation in his capacity as SADC chair, and also South Africa in his capacity as previous mediator conflict in Zimbabwe. He will be coming into the country tomorrow to possibly finalize with President Mugabe and the army commander, in light of the reality that President Mugabe is no longer in charge of government, and also that the impeachment process is indeed taking place and gathering momentum.
Regional leaders say they are coming to Zimbabwe. What roles are they expected to play in this?
Well, I guess really it's now just a question of ensuring a peaceful transition, more so to just negotiate with President Mugabe to accept some form of an exit that will dignify him. He commands respect in this region, also within the African Union. So it's a way of trying to at least have him have a dignified exit, because clearly from reports from the South African Defense Minister, who was sent in earlier, in her report, she says she does not see President Mugabe still in charge of government. All apparatus of government has no control, which is why when he called cabinet meeting, there was almost a non-appearance by his ministers, but most of them are participating in the impeachment exercise. So I guess it's just about negotiating a safe landing for President Mugabe, such that he does not really face the huge embarrassment, and to also pacify the region and manage such that it does not come out to be a coup on the basis of the military intervention.
Nigel, all these must, really be overwhelming for Robert Mugabe, who has said that he will not step down as president. But, being overwhelmed as president, who really is in charge? Is he in charge? Is he still in charge of the country?
He is certainly not in charge. The military at this point, they issued a press statement late last night to say their operation is still on. In other words, that they are still the ones running government. They suspended some key operations, but they also said they were happy that President Mugabe has now been talking to his ousted former Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who then issued a statement this morning confirming that indeed he spoke to President Mugabe, but he is not willing to engage in any talks with him. Only that his call was for President Mugabe to resign and to respect the constitutional process of impeachment going on, and also to accept the fate of the Zanu-PF Central Committee that installed him, Mnangagwa, as the interim leader of the party, and also for him to take over President Mugabe in interim capacity.
Jill Yamutumbu, thank you for your time on Network Africa.